This is Neil here, and we're here at what used to be Ontario Place for a very cool thing. Thank you to Netflix. We're here for the premiere of Netflix's new show, Lost in Space. You're right. The reboot of the 1960s shows you probably didn't know existed is here to stay. Now, I didn't hear about it. This is the first time I'm checking it out, but I'm excited because it looks like a cool space show. If you know me, you know I love a good space show. So I'm excited to go in. It's happening right here. Actually, this whole wall is actually Toronto's Cinesphere. It's a new addition to the Toronto landscape, and it used to be a theater. It was. They closed down for a bit. It's back open, holding all of your best shows, and in a beautiful IMAX screen. So you might say, Lost in Space, what is that? It's actually a 1960s TV show that brought together science fiction and a family dynamic. It is really, really cool and important for the 60s. But I'm going to give you two recommendations before we head in of my favorite things about 60s, families, and space. So, number one, I got to mention this to the BBC, Doctor Who. This is one of my favorite shows. My mom turned me onto this when I was younger, and we used to watch it together. It was a really cool show, and it kind of merged space travel, aliens, planets, and all that kind of stuff. It's about a 10,000-year-old Gallifreyan Time Lord that steals a TARDIS, time and relationable dimension in space, and comes on adventures with cool Earth people. So if I could be one of his partners, I would, but I can't, so I'm here watching his show. Now, the reboot is really cool. We've had everyone from Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and the newest one is really exciting because they're coming out with a female doctor. I can't wait to see what happens. But moving on to my second best show about the 1960s rebooting back into modern day, Thunderbirds. It's one of those weird shows, British, made in the 60s with puppets, but the best thing about this show is the puppets and the style of animation. You gotta give it to the stop motion, a little bit of miniatures, a little bit of everything, making this show a really, really cool show to watch. Now, my favorite thing is the puppets and the kind of the cheesy aesthetic, but if you didn't know, when I workshop in Australia, actually did a reboot of this awesome show only this last year. They're on season 3 now, and I just love it because all the detail they put into the miniatures is really just a lot of fun to watch week by week, all the care and detail put in the show, and it's a little bit cheesy, it's a little bit 1960s, but it's a lot of fun. Those are two 1960s shows that are actually currently doing reboots that are really, really good. So before we head up there to Toronto Cinesphere, buy Netflix for Lost in Space, check those two things out. I'll be back after the screen to tell you how I liked it and a couple more recommendations about things in space. So I'm going to head up right and get lost in space.
Moments that stood out to you for their accurate portrayal of space travel? Did they get anything right?
Did we get anything right?
Neil hasn't actually been in space. You know that, right?
He doesn't even know what he's talking about, I guess.
No, actually, I think you did a really nice job. There's a lot of it we don't understand. We don't know hardly anything about black holes. We don't understand. We can sort of do the math of what the physics looks like around a black hole, but the idea here of somehow something going on that is now sending people across the solar system, or in this case, across the galaxy, I think the way you did it in the show is a nice kind of an entree to make it happen. I think everything worked out well. I like your spacesuits. They look very realistic.
Okay, I have questions about the spacesuit.
I think, I actually, some movies and some TV shows for an astronaut, it's just sort of painful to watch. But this one was really good. I really like the way the characters are done, and I like the effort to make it as realistic as you can. So I wasn't cringing at all. I was happy to sit beside you and watch it.
I will tell the writers. Yeah. They'll be very happy.
I looked over and saw a big smile on your face throughout a lot of it.
Alright, so a big shout out to Netflix for the invite to the premiere of Lost in Space. It was so cool, from the nitrogen-filled ice cream to the popcorn, all the branded stuff. The little bathroom side had a little spaceman on it, and I really enjoyed it. The pilot we'll talk about in a minute, but I have two recommendations before we get to that. So the first one is coming from the U.S., and the Chief of Staff from the Air Force, David Goldfein, actually said that space war is only a matter of time. So that's kind of weird. Like, we have wars already on Earth, in the water, in the air. Do we really need to go into space? Well, It is the final frontier of uncharted territory, so as commercial flights started going there with Tesla and everything, it's only a matter of time before Space Wars becomes a thing. Everyone wants the land, and it might be a problem of a different kind of situation, but Star Wars could happen. It wouldn't be the most exciting thing, but just the idea that the final uncharted territory is going to be a contested territory soon, it's endless, but people always want to put their little flag on any area, so it's exciting to see what the possibility could be of space warfare. So space cadets could be a joke, could be a real thing. All right, my second one comes from NASA's newest mission to Mars. It's actually named Insider. All right, so the InSight rover is actually really cool. It's launching on May 5th. Okay. All right, so what's cool about the InSight is actually launching on May 5th, landing on Mars on November 26th of this year, and it actually stands for the Interior Exploration Using Seismic Investigations, Geodesy, and Heat Transport. So obviously a lot of big words that I don't understand all of it, but I know it's dealing with geology, trying to figure out what's in the planet and kind of exploring more of the surface of Mars because we want to figure out what we can do, what this planet has to offer, and a lot of cool stuff. So this is just one more rover that's going to Mars that's going to be exploring the planet in a new and cool way. But now that we've talked about things about space and getting you some recommendations, let's get into the actual episode. So Lost in Space is a reboot of a 1960s TV show about the Robinson family. Now you might know it's most popular for the kind of aliens going, "Danger, Will Robinson," and I want to give a shout out to like the 4 people in the audience that clapped every time there was a reference. I didn't really get it, but I'm excited to see what more they have, bringing back stuff from the old things. I love a little bit of old, a little bit of new, a little bit of in between. But I think that was really cool that they actually had references to the original show. I'm going to start with the alien design because while the show is called Lost in Space, we only get about a little bit of actually lost in space. They're more lost on a planet, which I think is a kind of interesting choice. And obviously, hopefully, as the show progresses, we'll see a lot more actually in space. But the planet was kind of interesting. We don't get a name, but it's very Earth-like, which you get because obviously we can only film on our planet. What I thought, it was a pretty much simple design. I thought it was okay. There's a couple little things here and there that kind of show, oh, it's an alien planet. But otherwise, it was pretty straightforward, and I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of the actual design of this alien world. The robot design, though, for the robot in the show, I'm not sure of the name, but I'll probably right there. It's really cool. It's kind of bio-organic. It kind of adapts to any situation, and it evolves as it kind of encounters its kind of surroundings. And I think it really parallels one of my favorite characters in the show so far is Will Robinson, and he has a really good story arc of going from like kind of nervous kid to moving on to like someone that's more adaptable and progressible and like kind of developing on his own because it shows that he has growth. He's like 13 years old in the show, so it's really cool that he's allowed to adapt and grow. And it kind of mirrors this robot that is actually, this is probably his first contact and like Earth's first contact with aliens, and arguably this could be this other extraterrestrial's first contact with other beings. So it's kind of paralleling a really interesting way. They get to show them both growing in interesting ways, and I feel like that it really brings them together as characters because they're both really going through the exact same things together, and it's a really kind of nice moment. So the other characters, they have they have 2 daughters. I'm a little bit confused about why one is white and one is black, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably explain that. I hope so, because it's kind of confusing. They are apparently all kids of the same 2 white parents, so diversity, yes, but it doesn't really fit for the story. And I'm all for diversity and people of color in our shows, but obviously, like, make the show make sense and make it do what the story progresses and asks for. So if it's just there for diversity's sake, then it's not really working for the story's perspective. The music I thought was cool. I heard a couple little nods because I listened to the original theme song before I went out there, and I heard a couple little nods in the score, and I thought that was really cool. The cinematography was pretty average for what a network show is, but I think the CGI, so we watched it on like a huge IMAX screen. Obviously it's not filmed in IMAX, but there were some really cool visuals, and I really enjoyed the cinematography in a way that was kind of normal-ish, but they had some interesting flares. And I think the point of view shot, so like bird's eye view shot, has been really popular in recent months and over the last year. And I think they use that in really cool ways to show like characters moving, and the CGI a little bit iffy. Mostly it's what you expect on a TV show. I think the space stuff is really good, but there's a couple of uses of like water and ice and snow that I was like, doesn't work perfectly. But overall, the show is kind of
like meh. It's a really interesting premise, and I always love a good space exploration show. So I'm excited to see people go into places where they're not. So you have your Star Trek, your Expanse, your Star Wars, anything that's kind of going somewhere that we haven't seen before. I'm excited to see what these creators can do with this new prospect. So I'm excited. I would say check out the first episode. It's not for everyone, and it's a weird kind of like Fantastic Four meets like Star Trek meets The Expanse of like just like a family in space doing cool stuff. So there is something cool in there. I don't think the pilot has found it yet, but obviously, as most Netflix shows, they take a little bit of time to kind of digest and get into what they actually want to be. So I think give it 2 or 3 episodes. You might like it. Right now, I think I'm at like a 6.5. I think there's some solid promise in the show. The cast is pretty okay. There's shining moments which each of the members I think is really good, but I want to see their chemistry grow as a family, and that's the most important part. Space can be crazy and amazing, but if the family doesn't work together as a cohesive unit, that's the most important thing. So hopefully Lost in Space promises on that. The show comes out on April 13th on Netflix, so you guys can all check it out tomorrow when it comes out, which is very exciting as I love a good binge. I might get to it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see where that lands, but there's going to be a lot of exciting things. I'll see if I can drop a review later, but that's it for me. You find me on Twitter at Sunil Mystery and Instagram at Mystery Sunil for more cool, fun pop culture stuff. And that's it for today. See you all later.